In this video, we introduce the Carista Wage Checker. This module has been built to assist social care organisations to meet a potential challenge around the definition of the minimum wage, and particularly in managing two different types of support, namely direct hours and sleepovers. Historically, there was no problem. Direct hours were paid as an hourly rate, which was above the minimum wage, and sleepovers were paid as a unit cost. The problem arises if it becomes necessary to count sleepover hours as an hourly rate, because as such they are paid at below the minimum wage. The challenge for organisations now comes from needing to maintain a balance between direct hours and sleepover hours. Employees that only provide direct hours will not be a problem, as their hourly rate remains above the threshold. Employees that provide both direct hours and sleepovers will now need to be monitored to ensure that they are in balance, as those who provide proportionally too many hours as sleepover will, in effect, end up being paid below the minimum wage. The challenge for the social care organisations is to maintain the correct balance of hours and thereby remain above the threshold. This balance will vary depending upon the hourly rates being paid to the employee and also the nature and numbers of hours they work. This is where the Carista Wage Checker can help. The Wage Checker comes with flexible controls for setting the percentages being monitored, for both when a contract has breached the limits and also for when it is at risk of doing so. There's also a workspace area where the results will be displayed and a control for deciding the time period being analysed. To set the threshold, simply select and move the slider. As this adjusts, Carista displays the records that meet the criteria and the potential problem areas start to become visible. These can even be across different services and teams. The number of direct hours are displayed, as are the number of sleepover hours, and the ratio of sleepover hours that have been provided and need to be monitored. The process can be repeated by adjusting the breach threshold, the ratio at which we have decided there is a problem. As this moves, we can see staff members moving from the at-risk list to the breach list. The Carista Wage Checker gives organisations a clear picture of what they need to manage in a new and challenging situation.